Welcome to today's Explainer. We've got an incredibly powerful story to break down for you right now, sourced straight from a profound motivational narrative. We're going to tackle the one habit that holds so many of us back: procrastination. We'll be visually unpacking the psychology behind why we delay our dreams, and more importantly, we're going to discover a simple, actionable blueprint to finally stop waiting and start doing. So get ready, because the insights we're about to explore might just be the exact push you've been looking for. Okay, let's dive right into part one, the 4 dangerous words. Ruining your absolute best potential doesn't actually take some massive, catastrophic mistake. Nope, it doesn't take a huge failure at all. Literally, all it takes is a specific mindset. It's this quiet, comfortable little trap that tricks our brains into feeling productive when we're actually standing completely still. And it all boils down to these 4 incredibly dangerous words: I will start tomorrow. This is where we meet our protagonist from the source material, a young guy named Rahul. Now, Rahul was full of big dreams. He had genuine skills and this burning desire to start his own business and make his parents proud. But every single morning, he'd wake up, feel a little tired, and push his actions to the very next day. He'd tell himself, I'll rest a bit today. I'll work hard tomorrow. He had no idea that this one single habit was setting him up for a really harsh life lesson. So let's be brutally honest for a second. Are these your words too? Like, how many times have you told yourself you're going to start that diet tomorrow, or read that book tomorrow, or launch that side project tomorrow? We do this because tomorrow feels incredibly safe. It's like this magical land where we're all infinitely motivated and full of energy. But as our source material reveals, this comfort is a total illusion, and relying on it comes with a very steep price tag. Which brings us to section 2, the cost of tomorrow and the pain of missed opportunities. Rahul's hardworking father, who ran a small shop in their village, actually warned him about this. He told him that in life, opportunities do not wait around forever. When a chance appears, you've got to seize it right then and there. But Rahul, he just smiled and said, I will work hard too, father, starting tomorrow. His dad just stayed silent, knowing perfectly well that Rahul's biggest enemy was his own habits. And you can really see how that compounds over time. Months ago, Rahul bought all these books to learn new skills, but they just sat there, closed on his desk. Weeks ago, he had a chance to start a small business, but he delayed it. And then, reality hit him hard. Last week, his father fell ill, and Rahul was forced to run the shop himself. For the first time, he felt the exhausting, heavy weight of real hard work. He promised himself he'd start his own plan the very next morning. He even set an alarm and, well, he turned it off, mumbling tomorrow. Which brings us to today, a local village business fair. While all his friends set up stalls and made a great profit, Rahul had absolutely nothing to sell. Why? Because all his preparation was pushed to tomorrow. Let's move to part 3, the carpenter's secret. This is a wise encounter that changes everything. So the fair ends and Rahul's golden opportunity just vanishes with it. He's sitting there completely sad and defeated, watching his friends count their earnings. An old, wise village carpenter spots Rahul looking miserable and walks over to ask what's wrong. Rahul just pours his heart out, confessing his terrible habit of delaying literally everything. The carpenter listens quietly, picks up this rough, unshaped piece of wood from the ground, holds it up, and asks Rahul what he sees. Rahul simply says, wood. The old man smiles warmly and shares this really profound piece of wisdom. He says, I see a beautiful table in this wood. The difference isn't in the wood. It's in the person who starts carving today versus the person who says, I will start tomorrow. It's a brilliant analogy, right? Everyone has the raw material, the talent, the ideas, the dreams, but execution is the only thing that separates the dreamers from the achievers. The magic is in the carving. All right, section 4, the 10-minute rule, a tiny daily habit. That beautiful analogy sank deep into Rahul's heart. But the carpenter didn't just leave him with a nice metaphor. He handed Rahul a small block of wood and gave him a very specific rule: just 10 minutes. He told Rahul, look, don't try to change your entire life all at once. Just work on your dream for 10 minutes today. Complete one tiny task, and that's it. Procrastination usually happens because the mountain just looks way too big to climb. But anyone, no matter how tired or unmotivated they feel, can commit to just 10 minutes. Let's actually break down exactly how Rahul transformed his life with this. Step 1. He went home and for the first time ever, worked on his dream for just 10 minutes. The next day, he did another 10 minutes. Step 2. As momentum naturally built up, those 10 minutes turned into 30 minutes, and then a full hour. He actually started learning those new skills and building his product. Step 3. Of course, he faced some initial failures. People criticized his work, and his brain was practically screaming at him to quit and just do it tomorrow. But he built resilience. He started telling himself, no, just 5 more minutes today. And finally, step 4. All those micro actions completely compounded. He launched his product and finally made his first real income. Which brings us to the emotional climax of our story. Rahul takes those very first earnings and places them right into his father's hands. His dad, with tears of joy and pure pride in his eyes, looks at his son and says, "Today, you haven't just earned money, my son. Today, you have won your tomorrow." I mean, what an ultimate validation. By simply committing to the present day, Rahul finally conquered his worst habit and secured his entire future. And finally, Section 5, taking the first step. Because now, it's your turn to start. So what does this all mean for you right now? How do you apply this? Well, that night, Rahul went into his bedroom and looked at this quote he had written on his wall a long time ago. It said, "One day I will be successful." He thought about it for a second, wiped those words away, and replaced them with a brand new mantra: "I will start today." He realized that success doesn't wait around for some special, perfect day. It begins the exact moment a person stops making excuses and just takes their very first step. Look, if you are holding out for the perfect time, you've got to understand something. The perfect time simply does not exist. Our source material gives us this fantastic, rapid-fire, practical blueprint. If you want to read a book, just read one single page today. If you want to learn something new, practice for just 10 minutes today. If you have a massive goal, take one small, totally imperfect step today. Remember, a small start is not a small success. It is the absolute momentum that changes the entire trajectory of your life. So I want to leave you with this one provocative question. What is your 10-minute task today? Not tomorrow, today. The next time you feel that heavy urge to push a goal off, I want you to remember Rahul. Remember that the tomorrow you are waiting for might never actually arrive, but today is entirely in your hands. So don't wait. Go spend 10 minutes on your dream right now.